Back it up. Hey all, welcome back to Bex Squared Gaming. This is 7 Days to Die, and this is Scottish Bex's solo run. This is going to be the last part in this Alpha 21 solo run, as the version 1 is due to be released very shortly. So she is doing this on Nomad difficulty and absolutely no mods. Let's see if she survives the final horde. Hey all, welcome back. What is the final part of this 7 Days to Die series? So this has been really fun. I'm kind of I'm a little bit gutted because, you know, it's coming to an end, but I'm also kind of really excited, you know, as something ends, new beginnings. And, you know, we're gonna have the new series is gonna start, so we will do a similar series in the release for version 1, which could be interesting. Well, it will be interesting, not could be. And that's going to give us a chance to have a new map, because I could use the settings from this one, but to be honest, that kind of the fun of it is doing something new, essentially, isn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up any steel and everything that's going. I think this is kind of already, yep, we've got a little bit in. The main thought process behind this is that I want to try and get the last little bits and pieces finished, and no, and kind of just take on the horde. So it's going to be a lot of little bits about today. Not going to go out. I might at push go over and do something close by just to kill a little bit of time, but in general I'm not thinking too much about heading out. I think the main focus really is getting these last little bits done and being ready for this final horde, mainly because I have no idea what is coming. And the reason I have no idea what's coming is because I have not tried this base out in Alpha 21. So I honestly don't know. That's the fair, honest answer. Because I've used it in the past, and it has always worked for me as a solo one, and worked well with demolishers. But I don't know what it's going to bring for the Alpha 21, because I haven't tried it in Alpha 21. And that would be the main point. So because I don't know what it's gonna happen with it, it could be the funniest shit show we will ever see, or it could be, you know, as easy as the other hordes. I'm hoping it's gonna be as easy as the other hordes, because that would line up with everything that I know, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to. So the main thing I want to do is try get this roof done. Whether we're gonna have enough steel to finish the roof before, I don't know. I doubt it. I'm not seeing us having the steel to finish the roof by the end of... Oh, I needed one for there. But I can just keep checking supplies and seeing it how it's chewing in. I also want to try to thin this down a little bit as well, really. So I could potentially have one final horde thing here, but I don't think I'm going to. I have the space to do it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as it is. Right, and this is us channeling everything coming in to us into this one channel. The only thing I am nervous about with this is that I'm going to be so far back from the entrance. That might cause problems with pulling them in, because normally, obviously, you would start up here, and this would be where they'd be coming in, but I can't do much about it now, so... Well, that is the last of the cement, but I'm okay with that. I mean, Only a couple of pieces that's dragging back, so I'm fine with that. So let's stick all this back in here. Grab the topsoil. And stick this. Maybe been a wandering horde? I took her head off. I took her head off. So the only thing I would say about this is, if you've ever played a capture the flag slash death zone PvP version of this game with your friends, which we have done on occasion, we've had death matches. What I would say about this is the handiness of this is that if you are playing a sort of PvP-esque version, this is a good way of hiding your base. If you're doing it underground, you can have your horde day hidden. And then, you know, it gets sneaky. You can even plant trees over the top and hide it all and, you know, make it look like more natural area. Because as you can see, when, you know, there's sneaky ways of doing it. Plant up some grass over it, you know, and don't give it away that you've ever been building here. Trick is doing it and having it built over before they see it. So the other way of doing that is you actually just dig under and support it as you're going so that you never ever remove the topsoil. I obviously dug out and removed the topsoil, but that is a sneaky way if you were playing with people and you don't want them to know where your horde base is. Assuming you don't have hordes turned off, because I know sometimes when you play the PvP versions, people turn the hordes off. Assuming you weren't playing turning the horde off, then you would want to hide your base. So, you know, and let's be honest, unless if they were driving way over there, they're not going to see this one strip. And even so, you could leave this one strip as a, you know, they have to drop down onto it, you know, so you could still have this as dirt and then they have to drop down onto the bottom layer. So you could even have it so that they don't see this as such. And yeah, so there's a couple of things you could do, or you could build a mound over it to make it look a bit more mounded. The giveaway is that there's no grass in that area. That's usually the giveaway. But like I say, you can get around that by planting some up or not even digging out. You know, you use supports under like you do in the mine to support the structure that you're building out, and then, you know, replace it bit by bit and remove the structure that supports underneath, and then you never ever remove the top soil layer. So let's put that back for the moment. It is steel heavy. That is the downside to this base. Because you're down on under the ground and the little gits can dig to you, you need to do a thick at least two layers around you at any given time so that they won't dig to you. And that is the one thing I will say about this base compared to some of the other bases that are really simplistic. They're in the air, and a lot of the ones in the air are fantastic because you can do it with very minimum resources. The downside to being in the air is the demolishers, because if you don't have that fully supported, all it's going to take is a couple of demolishers and then you're down. and then they're digging out underneath you. So for example, the base that has the pole, demolisher takes out the pole, nothing can then AI path to you. And yeah, so there's loads. I mean, there's tons of stuff on YouTube in general about great horde bases. And some of these people are so creative. They've created some of the... And they don't even necessarily play the game a lot. A huge part of what they do is just designing the best bases, you know. And that is all they really do. And, you know, I got to hand it to those people. Like, some of the stuff they can build is amazing. I'm gonna hang on to that for Horde Night. I'm gonna go take this steel over. So really today is just gonna be back and forth a little bit from the steel. Not much else to do. Like I say, I might take a wander over there or either over to the old army base bit that's, I think, there somewhere. There it is. And do a few shots, kill a few things, pick a few bits up. That kind of idea. I'm not wandering far from base. I'm done, really, for the wandering. I want to just be ready for whatever the base is, whatever's going to come, really. I don't want to risk getting trapped out before Horde. What I might do is pick up some of that. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. That's a waste of a piece of steel. Ugh, annoyed. I bet now I've got one, like, right up there that I can't do before Horde Night. To be honest, I don't need to reinforce this layer to steel. It's way past where I would be. I think my mine stops about here. So I think I'm way past where I would be in terms of digging down. Let's tell you what I'm going to do, actually. Yeah, I'm going to kind of just call that there, I think, in terms of the reinforcement of the top. Let's just cover it over now. Any more steel I get can be used to reinforce the inside. So what you can do for this base, if you were in a PvP, and obviously this is not necessarily the best base for PvP, but I'm just saying, you know, if you were doing a 7 days in PvP, is you could put blocks down here after each horde and then cover it over with a mound of dirt. So all you would have to do each horde night after you've repaired it is dig it back out and take those blocks back out, and then, you know, just simple blocks so that no one can ever find your horde base other than you. Provided you knew where you left the horde base. Right, so the last thing I want to do before I call it for this horde base, I'm going to turn it all back on. I'm going to do one last test of everything. So that one is working. That one is working. That one is working. And that one is working. And I think I've got plenty of fuel. Yep, plenty of fuel in it. Not worried about it. It's not a big stress of the fact that you only turn one on at a time, so it doesn't actually use a massive amount. Now, the other thing I potentially could do, and I haven't done, is you could dig a hole out further up and run blade traps and stuff out here. That's you could easily do that. I haven't done that. You can also bury a receptor down there so that, you know, it goes all the way out and then out to there, so you can't, but that, you know. So one of the other things you could do is you can put blade traps and things out here, so that they're running into that before they run down, but nah. Again, I'm kind of making this a little harder for myself this time round. I definitely enjoyed the series. It was, I think for me, it's been quite a learning curve as well, and a massive appreciation curve as well for what American Bex does do when we play on the server. Because I mean, I play solo games myself, yes, but very much more relaxed, less just do it bit at a time. Usually on easier settings, just because I want a relaxing time, so I'm not really thinking about overly stressing it. I don't tend to do anything particularly stressful when I play solo. But, you know, it's been fun, it's been good. What I am gonna do, let's do... Oh, one last airdrop. Let's do it. Let's do the one last airdrop, shall we? Is it going to land on top of a building again? This as well. Alright, let's get up to that. Where are we going? We're going up here. Can I get round? Can I get round without having to go into the building? Oh, I might be able to. Oh, I can. Okay, tactical assault rifle bundle. So let's open that first. Nice. Just because I could. Alright. There's a few other things while we're standing here, shall we? Interesting. And we got 3 repair kits there. That was nice, because I just finished repairing stuff up, so that was actually a nice boost to my repair kits. Alright, let's head back. Alright, so we are back in. That might be our last little tour before we... think. So if we just pull that back. So what did we pick up? Picked up a few things. Stuff. We'll put them all away. And that's great. Even in that short amount of time, we got another 130 steel. So, I mean, it's definitely having fun with this. I think it's just continually getting bits, reinforcing, deciding what I'm doing. I might go and cut a little more wood. To be honest, I don't really need any more wood. I don't know. I kind of feel like we kind of done what we wanted to do. It's really just kind of waiting for horde. I might, like I say, I think actually, do you know what I'll do? I'll go over and hit up the army base. Nobody's loaded in yet. Nobody's loaded in yet. Not reset? Usually the guys at least reset. Not even got any guys that reset. Okay, well that's boring. I was getting excited about something like that. So let's head over here and see if there's anything over here. I think I broke most of the cars down over here for parts already. Not massive amount to search on the outside. Is there any mobs to kill? Oh, there goes our head. The rabbit. Made me jump. Surely there's going to be some bones in. Yeah, there is. My shots are off today. That is not promising for Horde Night. Damn, we don't need most of this. Ooh. Wrench. I obviously never opened this last time. How silly was that? When was the last time I was in that building? Because apparently I didn't open it that time. That's hilarious. Oh, that's quite neat. Doing the paint so it looks like it's spilled onto the floor. That's quite neat. Didn't search that last time to reset, or didn't empty it last time. I wonder what I was doing last time I came through. Half the stuff hasn't been emptied the first time round. I mean, obviously the some of it's reset, which is why it's, but what I'm saying is there's stuff with stuff in it, meaning I didn't fully search it. Shots are all off today. I don't have as many points in that, to be honest. That. Whoa, whoa. I'm kind of going through this in reverse order, but I just wanted the main loot, so I kind of done the main loot. I don't really need to do anything else. I probably didn't have lockpicks last time I came through. There we go. Not really going to stress about anything else at this point. I'm just kind of messing around now, really, to be honest. Oh, almost fell down a hole. Because, you know, that's what you do. I'm a little annoyed that the army base hasn't reset. I'm trying to think when the last time I hit it was. Interesting that nothing else in here spawned, because first time I came in here, there was tons of guys in here. There was like 4 or 5 guys in here. I wonder if, because I dismantled everything that was in there, did it break all the spawn points? We're getting close now. We're coming up for 5 o'clock in game. Horde night kicks off at 10, but to be honest, we need to be over at a decent time with everything turned on, which is what I usually do. I'm usually over for about 8. Let's just get rid of anything excess. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since this is the last day and I've got tons of them, I'm going to pick up some extra first aid kits. Might as well. Pick up a few things for lacerations in case anything hits me. I'll pick up more antibiotics. It's generally going to take a few bits and pieces with me, I think. Just in case anything hits me, it requires, you know, dealing with. So I don't think... Where's the, There's nothing left chewing in there, but it doesn't really make a difference because essentially it's, yeah, we're done essentially. I might do is split that in half. I know I don't really need to, but I will anyway. Right, so the other thing we're going to load up in is just tons of shotties. Don't really need, you know, take lots of bullets and stuff with me in case I do get demolishers. Because I'm not getting out. It's not like the other base where I can get out. Once I'm in there, and I'm, yeah. So, I think before we head over, we'll go up and we'll sit on our roof and have a look around. So, I have loved this series. It has been a lot of fun. It has been a learning curve for me in certain ways, even though I have a lot, and I mean a lot of hours in this game. I've never had to play really much on my own. I do the odd solo thing on my own, but in general, you know, so it has been very different for me. And that's a good thing. That's a learning curve. You know, I never really cared about what was in my bags. I never thought about what I was picking up. Because I didn't do most of the American Bex did. And even when I'm solo, you know, you just go out, you pick up what you need, you come back. You don't really think too much about it. Whereas because I haven't had the time, I would maybe dedicate a couple of days to building and then go out and search and then dedicate a couple of days to building if I was playing on my own. So I haven't, which I can't really do so much when I am doing this for the series, simply because nobody wants to see 3 days of building. And as much as it is an absolute required part of the game, and it 100% is, and therefore you do it, it's not the most interesting part of the game. Neither is the mining or all these other things. And I would spend a couple of days mining, a couple of days building, go out and get what I needed to survive for a couple more days and go, and that would be the way I would essentially do it if I was on my own, whereas I can't really do that so much while we're doing it for the vids. And yeah, so it has been a bit of a learning curve thinking about, well, I need a bit more space. What am I picking up? And, you know, and kind of chewing through. And yeah, that has led to some very interesting choices and some weird things. And because my brain is still in the mode where it's going, oh, well, maybe I just need to keep that seed because I'm going to plant up my garden. And all we got for the garden was that. Normally I would have it all dedicated and we would have everything. And then this top layer would have come all the way up and it would come and meet the edges of the base here with slats in between to allow light through for growing vegetables. I don't know if they've changed that in 21, but you used to be able to bury your garden and just cover with bars. And then the sunlight got through enough for your garden to grow. And but you still could have a layer that you could walk on. So what I would do is I would have this whole top layer out to the edges, and then with slats, grates that you walked across so that your garden was underneath. But then you would drive in here. This would be further out. You would drive in and you would sit on the top layer up here. And that's the way I would normally do it, but obviously I haven't dedicated the time I normally would. And so I just did enough to stay standing, really, and focus mostly on being out and about. You'd think I would. 70 days in, you would think I would have a lot more time dedicated to it, but it's amazing how long building takes. You know, especially not just building, but getting the materials for the building. I think, for me, the no trader challenge for me is not the one that I think I would be most interested in. I think the challenge I would be most interested in is a no build challenge. Simply because, well, no crafting, not no build, no crafting challenge. Simply because I build everything and I craft everything I need to build it. So the fact that I would want to do the building, but I wouldn't be able to do it unless I found the materials, would be a lot more interesting for me. I think it would be a harder struggle for me than the no trader. I can survive without the trader. I definitely think the no crafting challenge would be a bigger challenge to me. And I think that's the one I might consider doing. I would like to obviously get American Bex involved. I'm going to start heading over to the base. I would like to get American Bex involved in some of the challenges as well. But obviously it's about time, and you've seen we don't always have a lot of time together at the moment. Hence why, you know, we don't put, you know, most of the videos are usually me rather than the two of us together. And that's unfortunately just the way things are right now. I would love to do, but I think if we were to do a challenge together from 7 days point of view, it's probably going to be a Blood Moon every night challenge. That's more likely to be, if we do one together, it's more likely to be that one. Just for the sheer chaos. Because when we're together, it's more the chaos element that we enjoy. So, definitely. So let's get in here. I keep thinking I'm seeing things out the corner of my eye, and it's not. It's like the trees in the distance and the flashes of light. Yeah, I would... so many things to try, so many things to do. And not just with 7 days. I love playing 7 days, I do. It's one of my favourite games. But I obviously want to be also doing other things. Hence why I've been doing the Bioshock series. There's a load of the Resident Evils. I would love to go back and replay. I've played a lot of them. Yeah, there's quite a lot of things I would love to try. And there's a lot of new games constantly coming out. And... It's good to have a focus, but I do want to try other things as well. So I'm just gonna back down into the base at this point. Not going to switch that on just yet. I'm going to wait to just before Horde like I always do. Alright, so moment of truth is upon us. This is going to get interesting. Now this is where this is going to get interesting because the shotty is going to damage my blade trap. This is the downside to using the blade traps from this functionality. Doesn't work so well with it, but this is where you can use other things, to be honest. Here we go. This is where the moment of truth. Yeah. Now, obviously, if I'd done this all the way up, they wouldn't have such a long run to me. So, you know. So if they get to me, they're just gonna then stand in this blade trap. Hey, we haven't irradiated this time. I'm gonna turn this off to see if I can hear if they're digging. I'm not sure if they're trying to dig or not. So final horde night for us. This is quite interesting. This is, yeah. Now the bigger danger in this is the spitters, because the spitters get a nice clean direct angle at you, and yeah. You don't tend to start getting the cops and things until after 12 though, so. Hey. No, no, no! I went for the bag and clicked the... We did that last horde as well! Don't think I can get the look. There we go. Obviously, the one downside to this is you can hear all those birds up there. I can't get to those birds. I deal with them after horde. But neither can they spit at me. Got an irradiated incoming. Oh, lovely! You're just essentially, you just created yourself a shooting gallery. It's great. If anything has the balls to get to you, it's gonna get head chopped. So something's hitting on steel somewhere. I don't know where. Now again, this might be because I'm not so far forward, so they're more inclined to be. Not constant though. And this is why you need a couple of layers, so if something does decide it's going to dig its way down to you, it's going to get through a lot of steel before it gets to you. There is something to be said for having more layers of steel above you and to the sides of you. You can hear it's not a constant hammering though, so it's only one, maybe two. And I think they might be over there-ish. We'll not know till the day's done and we can get up top and have a look. Popped his head. Demolisher. Yep, so we've had our first demolisher. First demolisher is down! Yeah! So we're doing well. We're already past midnight and the first one is still standing. Now, it doesn't mean there's not damage. I mean, let's have a look. Yeah, it's taken damage for sure. Problem is now we're getting the big hitters. This is now we're now getting the cops and we're now getting we've already had a demolisher, which was exciting. I'm so glad we got a demolisher. I wanted to get at least one demolisher. Jesus. Okay. Yep, got him. That's taking some damage. That's going to break soon. So I have the decision to still stand here even when it breaks, or, you know, back it up. So, first one's down. So, Demolisher did a little bit of damage, but didn't completely trash it. So I can stay here or I can back up now. These are my choices. Up. Backing up. Oh, she got in because she crawled over him. They wouldn't be able to do that when the blade trap was there. They couldn't do that with the blade trap there, but now that the blade trap's not there, they can get into the crawling position. Oh, ow, you bastard. I don't know if I can see where any damage is happening. Maybe up there somewhere. Oh, fuck me! Hot shot in the demolisher! That's That's a new one even for me. I don't know if it's up here. I don't know if this is where they're doing damage, because that shouldn't be damaged. I think... Oh no, that could be the spitter. It also could have been the demolisher. The wave of the, you know, from the demolisher. This is the problem. It's like I said, this is only one layer thick, so they might be trying to come in from above. And that is, like I say, I should have gone one down further. Right, we've got 2 hours left. We've already taken on 3 or 4 demolishers, which is exciting. And now that the thing's not there, I can use my shotgun. The other thing you can do is, instead of having this too, is you take this space out. So if you get a spitter, you can sidestep in. That is also an option. Another demolisher? No, that's a... That's a headshot, I think. There's head on the wall! Right, we have another demolisher. Got him. Because it's in such a confined space, the shotgun, so much of the shotgun blast hit them. I'm going to run back here quickly. Open this. I'm going to get rid of a load of mine. I can come back and pick some more back up. Whoa, no. That's the only downside to them, is they take a while to go up and down. So if you do that and accidentally mix click one, it does take you a while. Get irradiated demolishers? Don't know if I've ever seen an irradiated demolisher. You can see the steel's not taking the same level of damage as the concrete is. Plus, to be fair, that is where the demolisher exploded. An eye on anything that might be getting broken through. He's down. Yay, we got demolishers. I'm really pleased we got demolishers. Like, I can't even believe how, because that proves the point of the base. You know, you saw a demolisher explode, you saw that he took out the blade trap, and then the options are you back up. Now, I've taken on a good chunk of the demolishers now. And this is only the first one. There's only one so far that's actually managed to explode. So it gives you an idea of it can be successful. Obviously, 2 or 3 of you in here know. If you're gonna do, if you've got a group, each of you has to have your own lane, essentially. It doesn't work with more because you can't back up, you walk into each other. Too many guys come to the one location. Yeah. And yeah, I lost a blade trap. And there's a lot of repair to do because it's a combined space, so there's a lot of, you know, wall damage. And it's not a big deal. So that you can see what I mean. So if one, you know, I've taken on, what, 4 or 5 demolishers now, if not more. And I've managed to only have one explode. So if it takes 2, I mean, I could back up and use, you know, utilize the other blade trap, but I'm choosing not to because I like to use my shoddy. But you can see that, obviously, see what I mean? So obviously they're not steel. If they'd been steel, it had taken less damage. So, oh, lovely. Almost done. So I think the biggest problem I have is I'm not down far enough. So there's not enough layers of steel at the top. There's only 1 layer of steel there. So I think they're trying to come through there rather than... whereas if you've had 2 layers, they don't tend to. In my personal experience. But again, that could have been changed for this particular alpha. Get rid of stuff here. I'm gonna head back here and dump a load of my bullets. Give me more space. Yeah, I think that was good. I mean, you can see it needs repaired. There's always going to be repair, but I mean, we didn't have to go back any further than 1. And the switch and that stayed in. So even though he exploded here, the switch and that were protected. So they probably need repair. They'll probably taken some, yeah, they've taken a little bit of blast damage. But he was far enough away that he's not broken them. So that's what I mean, it takes 2. So usually it takes 2 to kind of bring down the walls. So if he'd done that and there was a second one, I don't even think that steel would have collapsed if a second one. I think it might have stayed standing. Now, at which point I would back up anyway. So they're not likely to explode in the same place anyway, so. Okay, let's... Yeah, look, see? This is because there was only 1 layer, so they were trying to get down to me. But look, I mean, look, they've barely done. And that whole evening, they've done. And I don't think that was the guys. I think that was the birds. I think that was the birds, because it was too intermittent to be anything else. So I think it was the birds. And even that, they've only done a tiny bit of damage. So if you'd done 2 layers of steel, they're not getting to you. And that's not somebody digging down to you, because they'd still be up here if it was them digging down. The birds have despawned. So absolutely, it does show you it works. What I would say is, like I say, I would do 2 layers of steel. The reason it is for most of it, but obviously because I'm running the blade traps up, there's actually only 1 layer there, which is why he's been trying to dig down to me there. But you notice they haven't tried to dig down and through the walls. and they're obviously not coming up from underneath. And you can see it's effective. Yes, I lost the blade trap on the first demolisher explosion. That's why you have multiple layers. You can make a decision to call that and back up and get use of this one, or turn to a bigger, harder hitting weapon. Like, so I whipped out the shotgun because I no longer had a blade trap to try not damage. Because a blade trap, we know, is going to get damaged by your shotty. So, you know, there's options. There's absolute options. And like you say, you can even move them further back, so, and have more spaces between, so that they're going to not take no damage from a wave blast. But the point is, it doesn't make a difference because your blade trap's already down. So whether they're taken out or not, it makes no doubt. You know, if he'd exploded there, maybe he would have taken them out. But at that point, your blade trap's gone anyway. So it doesn't matter if he takes them out. So you can see that obviously this is the damage done by the demolisher. It's a fair whack. But that was one demolisher. We had, what, five, six demolishers? We've got one that exploded out of that. We haven't lost this. So it gives you an idea of how efficient it actually is. And because it channels them, if you've got a decent weapon like a shotgun or a heavy hitter weapon, let's be honest, most of us are going to have a heavy hitter weapon, you can take them down. You can take most of them down pretty fairly easily. And I didn't even have AP ammo. So if you had AP ammo, I might not even had one explode. So this is why I find this so efficient. And like I say, you can even be sneaky, and instead of having this, because now that I know you can't use the grates anymore, and that's what it used to be for, I would maybe now even take them out. So you can sidestep, if a spitter spits at you, you can sidestep out of it. That would now be my thought. Now that I know the grates aren't going to work anymore as of Alpha 21. Yeah. Why not? So definitely, it was effective. It worked. Yeah. It was amazing. I'm not going to repair it up. I mean, I probably could, but I'm not going to spend the time. I'd need to go get a whole load of steel and spend loads of time repairing it all. But hopefully for you guys, it gives you an idea of just how efficient it is. And this is why I like it. It works for me. You can use your bat. You can use your guns. You can use anything you want to use. And I love it. And it just streamlines them straight in for you. And as you saw, if you're doing it the right way, other than the birds attacking from above, nothing's going to come at you. It's all going to come down and down that line. The bigger issue is the spitters, but now that we know that the grates don't work, you can adapt it. And I'm sure you guys are all really skilled and can adapt it to your own needs as well. Like, there's so many different things you could be doing with it. Like, you know. Let's put these in here. There are so many options that you could do to make it work. And that is a really basic one for me. So like I say, sometimes I get fancy. I have dart traps in there as well. I space the layers out so they're running through dart traps as well as blade traps, and, you know, all firing out from the deep in the sides. Depending, I mean, you can, it depends. Just be careful if you're putting them in and you're putting them back a little bit so nobody's hitting them, that you have left yourself enough space so that you still got too thick, even at your thinnest. As you saw from above, I didn't at certain places, just due to the way I layered it. So I only had one, and that can affect you a tiny little bit. So just be careful, really. It works. Oh, it works for me, and it still works in the new alpha, as far as I'm concerned. I say new alpha, it's almost a done alpha now. But I'm just glad to see it worked, because it kind of proves my point a little bit, so. The fact that, you know, we did get so many demolishers as well was really nice. I was so pleased to see that, because that to me was kind of the point. It was like, to show how it works, I think for me was a big thing. I would love to know whether people think, I mean, it's a lot of steel. So I get people are going to say it's not worth it for the amount of steel you have to put out. But I made a really big trench. I made a massive, thick, long trench. You could probably do it with 2 or 3. I mean, that was a horde night, day 70 horde night. It was pretty effective. Yeah, they're going to get more, but we're not going to get much more beyond this point. We know there's a point of diminished returns, isn't there? Really, they're not going to... There's not going to be that much more coming at us on a horde night in general. And that's something to consider. So, you know, it's effective. It does the job. And I would love to know what people think in terms of, yes, it's a lot of steel, but it is the most effective base solo wise for me that I've used. Now, again, I know there are so many different ones. I know there are more efficient bases. I know that there are some cracking ones. I have seen some cracking ones get built, and they are amazing, you know. And I just like, you know, and they are great and they are efficient. I just do things my way. I've always done things my way. And I mean, what I love about this is how hidden it is. It's just that little hole in the ground there. I mean, obviously that one doesn't count. They did that go dog in. And, you know, it's so easy to miss if you're not paying attention. And yeah, I mean, I have loved this seed. I think it's been great. I have loved this run. It has been great. I have had so much fun. I've had, and even me with all the hours that I have in this game, I've had such a massive learning curve. And you know, who would think after, I mean, I must be close to 3,000 hours in this game. Who would think after 3,000 hours in this game, I'm still learning? And you would. And maybe that's because I don't do a lot of the massive research and what's the most efficient. I like to learn that myself. I like to play along and go. And there are some things I research when I'm playing games, but this is not one of them. I like to try find my own way, mainly because I play my way. And just because it's best practice does not mean it's best practice for me. And that is the principle I will always do on any game I play, is I'm going to play it my way, because that's how I enjoy it. If I do it to somebody else's standards, I'm not necessarily going to enjoy it, because then I'm being, oh, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? And I start getting stressed and I start getting worked. And it's like, it's a game. If I'm not enjoying it, what is the point? But yeah, it was great to get the demolishers. It was great to finish on a horde night. It was fun. It was a fun run. And I can't wait till the release of the game to do it all over again, this time with a new map. And maybe, hey, maybe this time I will try a different thing. Who knows? But definitely. I am going to leave this one here, guys. And this is the end of this particular series for Alpha 21. Obviously, we will do a no mods solo, no, you know, nothing special, just base gameplay in the release as well for version 1, and we'll start a fresh one for that with a fresh map and see what comes. But obviously I won't focus on that as heavily. I will be trying to do some other things as well, just so we've got a range of different things that are going on. But it has been fun to do this. Loved all the comments you guys have had, whether they be things to help us learn or whether it just be comments on, you know, you're enjoying it. And it has been a pleasure to do. So we will see you in the release and the next solo game. Enjoy all.